Okay, this is a aerial tour of the lower South Cita Canyon. This is in the southern part of the park. We actually was flying over this area to determine some fence lines. We actually never saw any of the fence lines in the area where we're looking, trying to determine what part of this area is in the private ranch and which part is in the actual park. What we're looking at here is South Cita Canyon, looking north. This is the mesa that divides Antibus Creek from the South Cita Creek. As you can see in the creek bed there, South Cita is actually dry at this point. It actually flows farther upstream, but eventually it vanishes at the point where it gets close to the merge of where the confluence of North and South Cita. What you're seeing from the upper left part of the screen is North Cita Canyon coming down and meeting South Cita Canyon at the confluence, and they combine and flow from the center part of the screen to the right. Now we're looking downstream at the combined Cita Canyons. We're looking downstream, and what you see in the distance is the combination of the Prairie Dog Town Fork, which you can see in the distance on the left, and Antibus, which is behind the mesa and immediate to the right, flowing from right to left. They all have a confluence there, all three of those creeks, and then they flow down towards Highway 207, which is south of Claude. Now here we're going north again, and we actually saw from our mesa that we're flying from, we actually saw this rock formation, which looked kind of interesting. So I flew around it and got some really good cinematic views, I thought, and got about halfway back and realized I hadn't been recording. So this is try number 2. Not as happy with this try, but it's workable. It's kind of hard to see the scale, but I would estimate from the trees, the mesquite and the cedar trees there, that that's probably about 20 feet tall, that rock formation. It's kind of neat. It has some flat tops on top, and Amy and I were trying to figure out how in the heck we could actually climb to that. And this is really rugged territory, very rugged. The only trails that there are any hint of is game trails. So now we're looking back towards the south, and the mesa that you see in the upper part of the screen, just to the right center, is the No Name Mesa. That's the name we came up with after talking with the park personnel and some other people that have access to old maps. No one ever came up with a name, so we came up with No Name City to kind of, or we actually came up with No Name Mesa in honor of the No Name City from Paint Your Wagon. So now we're flying upstream, South Cita. This is looking to the southwest, and you can just see how incredibly rugged this is. You just don't simply hike to this part of the canyon. There's a part of South Cita Canyon that actually goes through the state park, and this is the part that we're looking at right here, is the part that actually passes through the state park. But don't plan on visiting this, because it's there are no trails to it, and it is just extremely rugged. Those boulders are just immense. You can see actually the Givens house in the distance at the very top of the screen there. That's looking upstream. The church camp's probably 5 miles, maybe a little bit more. You can start to see some hints of water down there going through those rocks. When the water is flowing, I bet you this just adds to the beauty that's already there. On satellite, we had seen this this cliff face here, and that's something that I really wanted to get the camera on, and I'm glad I did. It's a very dramatic cliff. I wouldn't even begin to guess how tall that is, but it's a pretty significant cliff. This is on the south side of the creek. We're looking more or less south here. Again, this is the same cliff face from a little bit higher altitude. South Cita is flowing from the bottom to the top of the screen there. We're looking east here. And we're going to pan up to the No Name Mesa. And when you see, a feature that you want to go to, it's never easy. It's just as easy as just going down the mesa and hiking to it. You've got these different levels that you have to pass through. So right there, you had 3 levels just to get to that cliff face. You can actually see Amy and I there on the mesa on the left-hand side there. And this gives you a good overhead view of the No Name Mesa that we're on. And that's Antibus coming into view at the top of the screen there, flowing from right to left. And actually on the left-hand side, in the upper left-hand side, that's where the battle began. The Red River Wars, Palo Duro Canyon battle. And looking south here, this gives you a good view of Wesley, what I call Wesley Mesa. Wesley Point's the nearest part of that mesa in the center of the screen, and that whole area there is kind of isolated from the rest of the plains, the high plains around it, and only connected by that little throat. And this is how you come into the landing on the edge of a cliff.